We trust that you've been encouraged by what you've learned about boundaries and about yourself in our meetings together. But perhaps the most encouraging note we can end on is a picture of Sherry with boundaries.
Remember her from session 1? Sherry stumbled through the day in a haphazard, out-of-control fashion. But now, like you, Sherry has worked through the Boundaries video series. She has decided to restructure her life within the clear boundaries we've outlined here. Let's take a peek in on her life with boundaries.
Lord, you've brought me a long way. It helps that Dave and I are setting limits for the kids and getting them to bed. I think I handled last night with Mom better. It wasn't easy to say, Mom, I want to visit with you, but this is a really bad time. Amy's been really looking forward to her first sewing lesson, and I didn't want to postpone it. You could come in and watch if you'd like, or I could call you tomorrow and plan a time for us to get together. I could tell by her reaction that it wasn't easy for her to hear. My support group really helps me not feel guilty for saying no. It's fun to have a new dress, a size smaller. Thanks God for my new self-boundaries. You're really helping me stick with this diet and exercise program. Unusual to hear from Michelle. She doesn't call much since I've started talking to her about the imbalances in the relationship. Like that time at lunch when I told her that she seems to call only when she was hurting, but that she is either unavailable, distracted, or uninterested when I'm struggling. Maybe she'll call back, maybe not. I'm sad if she's not happy with me, but people probably weren't too happy with Jesus when he withdrew from them to be with his Father. Trying to take responsibility for Michelle's feelings was trying to own something God never gave me. And these days, I know I can count on the kids to help us all get out the door. Bed's made, homework done, lunch is packed, and a few minutes to spare. And dinner time is so much more enjoyable because it's not such a hectic pace leading up to it.
You didn't call me.
You can enjoy each other's company, talk. Lord God, thank you for the second chance. And thank you for the hope you gave me and for taking me along your path.
As you've seen, Sherry's day is now characterized by the freedom, self-control, and intimacy that result from a lifestyle based on a godly understanding of boundaries.
Sherry's example is not a fairy tale fantasy. It is a real life change that you can have and maybe are experiencing. Like Sherry, you can learn to take ownership of your life. You can learn what things are your responsibility and what aren't. You can stop taking on problems that God never intended you to take on. You can learn to live by biblical boundaries and experience the relationships and achieve the purposes that God intends for you.
It's our prayer that your biblical boundaries will lead you, as Sherry's have led her, to a life of love, freedom, responsibility, and service.